Hello people, welcome to another review video, and it may seem odd looking at this kit soon, but all will be known. So, for the most part, it's kind of like CG Starlet. It has the mitigation on Provoke, pretty standard. Stardust Ray chaining with light, not really sure who that can go with. Like a non-elemental chainer like Arden, maybe you can equip a light weapon and just ditch his fire and dark and just use this, or you can just do the dark with the dark Stardust Ray chaining. 60% break is not too bad, but I wouldn't rely on it too much. Cover, obviously, and make him a magic tank. This is very good to have, getting all those resistances 100%. Mitigation is high. It's available on turn 1, so I mean you wouldn't use it turn 1 because you want to cover first. But turn 2, you'd probably want to do this unless if you're going for one shot and you fail, and you'd be really nice to have all this mitigation. So it's for all allies. That's really good. Not just for himself. Well, there you go. You don't even have to equip a light weapon in Arden, because you could just do this when you want to start chaining with light element. You could use this. Although I just don't really like it. Oh, oops. Yeah, I don't really like that too much. You're supposed to be a tank. You should have more tank-like abilities, not really chaining. If you're gonna make him a chaining tank, then you need to make him a little better than this. Moving on. Always like more HP, although his MP, like I don't know really if he needs any MP really. It's always nice to have, but I just don't like his kit. It seems small already. Although we'll be getting to that. Always nice to have more things to be chance to be targeted with, and light resist. That was always great. Same thing kind of like CG Charlotte, where he can counter with just normal attacks just for some LB fill. Not too bad. The charm resistance is starting to wane on me a little bit. Like, oh, it's so nice to have it, but like at the same time, a lot of bosses are not using charm, so just not really that useful, in my opinion. You're obviously probably gonna. Well, not actually. They're the same. I thought that was 30% the other one. Still a little tired, guys, but it's very nice to have them equalized. 50% is very high for that. The buff that all Final Fantasy characters get, of course, will be puts them in a slight edge over CG Charlotte, only because he can get his own first already, while she has to work towards hers. Little unfair though, And this is where it gets a little confusing, is that I'm told that he switches between his light and dark versions, so that's why his kit seems small. It's because he loses his other abilities and he gains new ones. Although I'm certain that his sprite does not change, because that'd be way too cool, right guys? That'd be way too cool. So guts, pretty standard. It's pretty standard stuff, like 20% defense and all that stuff, pretty standard. Now, we need to make sure these ones are the same. So this one is just this counter and magic counter and physical counter attacks. This giving LB Gauge. And this is the boss, or the character buff. So this is his he gets a W skill with his TMR bonus, or STMR bonus. And now this is a little weird. You guys are gonna have to use your imagination a little bit with the icons maybe or something, but like he can get he also can get these abilities in this kit. But just imagine that he has to switch between light and dark in order to get these abilities. So I think it'll become a little obvious when we get down a little further which one is which. But these ones are, I think these are ones of the light versions. And as you can see down here, it gets a little more obvious that this is the dark version, because if you know anything about Dark Knight Cecil, he likes to lose HP, so is it worth losing HP to use any of these abilities? I mean, he's your tank. Does he want to start losing HP to use abilities? I'm not so sure. Auto Revive is nice. Elemental Resistance is pretty nice. But oh, he covers different elements when he's in his dark form versus his light form, so that's okay. I thought they were the same thing, so it's nice. This was useless. The magic damage was defense break. That's not useful whatsoever. I would not recommend either of these. The spirit and defense break are completely useless, and you're just losing HP over almost nothing. So the mitigation though is just quite good. And he also gives him stuff. So I feel like this is not finished completely, but we're gonna go to Balloon first, what everybody wants to know. So, kind of similar, it reminds me a lot of CG Walls, where it has a weird hit number, but it hits very high, depending on how much spirit you have. And the mitigation is 50%, which I'm sure is very on par with CG Charlotte. We're just going to look at that real quickly here. We're going to compare. I know it looks really weird on your guys' screen, but we're just going to very quickly. Very quickly, just going to, on my end, going to look. I still feel like Charlotte's is better. It has 50% mitigation, but she also is able to cover in her Luna Burst, has a chance to cover, so I feel like Charlotte has the win in that regard. Now let's look at regular cover. Their covers are the same, and it's the same turn chance, so that's a middle ground there. He has more relevant frame chaining, but like, are you really going to be using these really? These are really specific. The light and dark starters rate chaining, there's very few partners that can reliably do that. So, and he still wins because he has more viable chaining options. She has Graviton Cannon, which is very limited. And his mitigation cooldown ability is way better than hers, in a way. It covers way more elements than hers. Hers is only ice and light, where his covers several others. 2 more than hers, plus it's the same mitigation. But it is AoE, so that is the same, but yeah, I feel like if you have CG Charlotte though, and you're cranking out Luna Burst every turn, I just feel like she has the edge in that regard. I feel like his Luna Burst is just not as good. And it's still good, of course, it's really good, but if you have CG Charlotte, which is completely UOCable right now, that I covered in my still UOCable video, if you guys didn't see that. So I feel like if you have CG Charlotte, you can probably just pass on this guy, unless you're nostalgic, which I saw a lot of people are nostalgic for this character, so don't blame me if you're going to pull, even if you have CG Charlotte, but if you do, and you're looking to save resources, and you're just going to pull Lightly and King Log, this is the time to do it. Because you can CG Charlotte right now and be fine, because I feel like her kit is a lot simpler, a lot more, not easier to use. and they basically do the same thing. Mitigation's the same. Her limit burst is better in my opinion. Being able to cover while mitigating is just so much better than just dealing a little bit of damage and giving some LB gosh to everybody except himself. So that's my final verdict. Can't recommend UFCing him because he's a, you know, Psalm Festival unit, as you can see there in the corner. Of course, so I can never recommend UFCing in units anymore, really, because you can't UFC them. So, with that being said, guys, hope you guys enjoyed, and if you have any questions down below, I'll try to answer them for you. Until the next one, peace.